Hey guys, Clumsy here, and are you ready for the real Ford F-Max experience? Let's do it. So a couple of months back, we had an encounter with a Ford F-Max truck, but it was done in a very different quality by very different mod authors. This time though, I proudly present something from SimülasyonTÜRK. Thank you guys for allowing me to preview this and show this to everybody a couple of days ahead of the full release. So we'll be checking this truck out. We'll be going into the truck config. We'll be looking at performance. We will be doing a test drive. So let's get straight to it, and I'll be sharing some details as well along the way. Let's go and start with the truck config option. So if you go to truck dealer, I think there might be a specific Ford dealer somewhere. I have not been able to find it, but if you are not able to find it like I am, there's always the mod dealer here. And let me just share that this is also compatible with 1.36. So I am on 1.36 right now. I believe it's also compatible with 1.35. So there should be no issue whether you're in the beta or not, right? So you see the Ford dealer there in the mod dealer, customize config, and voila, we see the truck in all its glory. Now, first things first, I'm a huge fan of performance. So I want to look at the numbers, ignore all the errors in the log. That's because of the 1.36 mild incompatibilities, I think. Minicon 1, please, thank you. And we see immediately that there is a very high triangle count for this truck. So if you guys have a very old PC, a potato, some would call it, I would caution against this truck. Of course, still try it, but don't expect very good frame rates, right? That being said, with DirectX 11, DirectX 11 introduces a lot of performance optimizations, and what we've noticed is even with high triangle counts, it's not always a deal breaker anymore. So we are more lenient when it comes to that. So don't be too scared, right? Just give it a go, and if you like the truck, try it out. So we have 1.9 million triangles, and inside we have 8 million. So it's pretty high. I think it's very detailed, a very detailed truck, and you can compare it, the interior of this one versus the first one we tried months ago. They are worlds apart. They are worlds apart. So I'm really loving the exterior. I'm really loving the interior. I'm really loving the model. But the triangle count I'm not such a fan of. That being said, if we still get a very smooth experience, then I don't really mind the triangle count. Yeah, it's not anymore the driving factor of performance as we've seen since DirectX 11. Anyway, so a couple of options here. We have 3 options, all 4x2. I think this one is a low deck. I'm not sure what LL means, but yeah, it does seem like it's a lower chassis, lower ground clearance, and the tanks are smaller. So it looks like a low deck to me, but you guys correct me if I'm wrong, right? You can go for a spare wheel as well or an extra tank. This is what I went with. There's only one option for the engine. It's a 500 horsepower Eco Torque Euro 6, and you'll be happy to know that this truck comes built in with EVR sounds. So no need to buy a separate EVR sound. You have it already. And this truck is going to be free, okay? This is going to be released on the 29th of October. I'll post that info in the video description as well, so you guys have a notice. It's all free. You have to go to the website. So all this you see, no charge. Only one transmission, 3 options for the interior. I think it mainly changes the GPS over there. Big, small, or no GPS in that middle. So that's what that changes. I chose the big one. Colors are very standard. It does come with some paint jobs though. Like this one, the FIA ETRC, International Truck of the Year, this Turkish truck. And you can change the colors, something along those lines. Now, that was an easy transformation, wasn't it? That looks cool already. You can also choose some others. This is the one I chose, I think. Yeah, that's the one. fortrucks.com.tr. Turkish truck through and through. In terms of customizations, not a lot in here. So if you're a fan of those bling blings, as I like to call them, you might not be too happy with that, because there are not many options to choose from. Then again, this is only version 1, and I think that is the major look and feel of this truck. It's a no fuss truck, but it's a very different truck from the usual stuff that we are used to. This is like, when do we see a different truck? It's most usually the common ones, the common brands that we see. So I'm really loving this variety and this level of detail in it. Yeah, comes with a side skirt. You can put a fender over here as well. Couple of mud flaps here at the back. I remember there are 2 options. There it is. 1 or 2. Nothing fancy, but the truck itself, the look is fancy enough. You might have noticed the one I was tinkering here. You can go for a black or white grille. Depending on the color you choose, one might fit the other better. There's also a custom sunshield. You can change, if you are familiar enough with the mod files, you can change the texture of the sunshield, and you can display whatever you like there, different text whatsoever. But you need to have a little bit of knowledge with modding and graphics. You need to modify the texture. Couple of different spoiler options here. Now, as a sample, let's open the trailer, because I thought this was like a humongous truck, but compared with the VAC trailer that I'm using right now for this job from Cast, apparently it's not that large. So a couple of options, low spoilers, everything is paintable. That is the highest one we can go. Yeah, it's not that bad. If you look at the trajectory in terms of aerodynamics, that I think is just enough to clear the top of the trailer. So it's not that bad to choose that one, right? Other things, blue interior light. I have not seen this yet. I tried it out, but I have not seen it yet. So we will see. Let me turn off the mini console. I have not seen any errors so far. The only error I've seen, only warning I've seen, is when I enabled this blue interior light, I got a converting PMG notice. So I think something to do with the version of the model has to be updated or something, but nothing big, nothing game breaking, right? What else is there? Main mirrors, only one option. Sun shield, sun visor, that's what I mentioned. Official, the stock or the custom. Over here, black or white grille. Here, standard or xenon lights. Up to you. Here you can change the plate. There are 2 options for the light bar. I'm not such a fan of having fancy designs. I like more a work truck feel. So I'm very happy with this like plain setup. I'm not complaining about it at all. But I'm sure if this truck gets enough fans, I'm sure someone else will add a lot of blings to it. Right? I think that is it from the exterior. International Truck of the Year 2019. Ooh, very recent. But yeah, so triangle count is a bit high, but let's see how that really affects the performance as we drive along. So I'm using a GTX 1070 and a Ryzen 5 1600. So not the top of the line specs nowadays. It's like 2 years old, but it's not a pushover either. So it's okay. It is default with SiSL's trailer pack, and also compatible with my mug and my hanging toy. Comes with natural lux, so I am pretty happy about that. and also the CG logo right there, as CG as it gets, right? Anyway, I think that's okay. Nothing else here. So the truck is very well modeled, as I mentioned, but I think you will love it more once we start driving, right? Let's do that. Let's do just that. We are currently in the world of ROX 2.3. We are currently in Cherkasy, and we're going to make a short journey to, oh, how do you pronounce this? Kropivnitsky. Kropivnitsky. There you go. Kropivnitsky. Alright, let's do that. So you get a full experience and you can decide for yourself if you want to try it out as well. So EVR sounds, we have high expectations and I'm sure you won't be disappointed. Oh yeah. Not bad at all. But I think where it really shines is in the interior. And let me increase the interior sounds. As interior volume 2 to increase the interior sounds and so you guys have a better experience overall. Good. There it is. Oh, there it is. Okay, the interior blue light is enabled when you turn on the beacons. Default key is O. Let's turn that on for a more exotic look. Look at the dashboard, guys. Isn't that beautiful? Now that is next level modding right there. This is a Ford F-Max through and through. I'm sure if you look at some YouTube videos, it will look exactly like that. But we are here for the sounds first. And yeah, with EVR sounds, that's the retarder stick. The lights. Oh, beautiful. The parking brake. Wipers. The honk, is it EVR trademark? Yeah, it's the EVR trademark. And the air horn would be the longer version. Exactly. Good. But what I really love, the best sounds for me for this truck are the indicators. Get ready for some eargasm. Ah, love it. Absolutely love it. Alright. Let's get going, guys. I think we're going to be late. It's an important delivery. And I've been sitting here in the parking lot for quite a few hours, I think, while I was preparing to record. So time might be against us. So let's take it for a test drive and see how it performs overall. Can I go first? Thank you. So far, performance has been very good. We are inside the city. So normally inside the city you get worse frame rates, but currently not so bad. I'm seeing a little more load on the GPU though. Normally inside here I get around 80% or 70% or lower GPU utilization. Right now I'm at the 80 to 90%. I guess that has something to do with the truck model. So be a bit warned. Yeah, the truck model might be a bit heavy on the frames. Heavier than usual. To provide some context, we've seen that the model has around 1.8 triangles. I think normally, I can't remember if it's around 200,000 or 600,000 for SCS trucks. So the triangle count is way off versus SCS default. So be a bit warned there. That being said, we are still getting some pretty smooth performance here. So if you have a modern GPU, there would be nothing to worry about. So currently I have 400% scaling and full ultra SMAA anti-aliasing that is new with 1.36. So it's not really bad, but we'll see. We still have a lot of ground to cover. We'll see if we get some stutters later on. Is it there already? That close? Nah. Okay, so the GPS I think has that bug that I have a pet peeve about. Why is it not shifting up? Why is it not shifting up? I'm in automatic transmission. And it will not shift automatically. Okay, fine. Are we getting frame drops? Just slightly. Engine braking. There we go. Ooh, look at that truck. Nicely configured Scania S. Loving the feel of this truck. I think I'll be driving this for quite a while. And I haven't shown you the dashboard yet. Look at all the details in the dashboard. There is something wrong with the transmission though. I think I will drive this more in manual. Not sure. So in the dashboard you see the current speed. That's on the upper right. In the lower right, that is the fuel economy. Upper left, I'm not sure. That might be the current time, 7:30 in the morning. And lower left is probably total trip distance. So if I reset that, if I press the reset button, you can bind this in the key bindings. That should reset. Yeah. Okay, looks good. You can also press I, default key. Change that. Instant fuel consumption. Oh, that's very nice. I love that. And air brake pressure, engine information, oil pressure, temperature, engine hours, and gauge view for turbo boosting. Measures the PSI. Oh, that's very nice. And we are speeding. So here the retarder. Retarder doesn't seem to work. Not hearing any whine. Oh, there we go. But that is more the engine brake, I think. I'm not sure. Maybe this truck doesn't have a... I like this. Oil... How do you call that? Oil drills. Oil harvesters. I do like that sound, but I do wish there was something on the retarder end. But maybe this truck... There are some trucks which don't have retarders. Maybe this is one of them. That's why they didn't model in any retarder whine. Like, I think the Mercedes Actros doesn't have a retarder by default. It uses more the engine brake. So maybe that's why. Let me change this back to instant fuel consumption. I like that look. Yeah, I think I like that. So if I use the retarder, I don't slow down at all. Except on maximum retarder level, which triggers the engine braking as well. So I think it's safe to say retarder is practically non-existent in this truck. I'd rather use engine brake for auxiliary braking or secondary braking, or however it's called. That's us. So now I guess you are experiencing some slowdowns. So I'm seeing my GPU load came up to 90+%. When it comes 90% and above, my encoding, so the video, my recording is getting a bit laggy. So I think my GTX 1070 is getting taxed. So triangle count still has a big factor. It's not a game breaker. It's not because you have a huge triangle count that you cannot get any smooth frame rates anymore. But yeah, just be aware that your frame rate will get affected. But I think it's worth it, yeah? I think it is worth it because this is... how often do we get a different branded truck in the trucking world. It's always the Mercedes, Scania, Volvo, and all the other major brands, but only now do we get this Ford truck in the game, and I'm absolutely loving it. The level of detail put into it. This truck has been in development for quite some time. I know a lot of people have been waiting for it. So on the 29th of October, you can get your hands on this as well, all for free, coming with EVR sounds too. And if you're a fan of EVR sounds like me, that is definitely a huge benefit. We're here already. Goodness, that's too short. Also, there are some things here in the upper dial. Temperature, I guess that's the oil temperature. Fuel. What is that other thing? AdBlue and oil. Is it this one? It is not this one yet. We still enter. Kropivnist. I forget. Kropivnitsky. There you go. Kropivnitsky. That's the one. All right. Yeah. So I'm currently at 94% GPU load. A little factor of that might be the map. Since this is RAW X 2.3 and not SCS default, there are some areas which can be frame heavy. It's not the SCS optimized everywhere. Although I must say most of the areas are. So I think it's mostly the truck that is causing those slowdowns. But yeah, let me know, okay? Try it out for yourselves when it's out in a couple of days. And let me know how it performs for you. Let me know what graphics card you have. And let me know if you get a good performance or not. So we can crowdsource the information. Like, comment here in the video your graphics card, like say GTX 1060, GTX 1050, and then let me know your average FPS. You can know your FPS by enabling the Minicon. So that's G Minicon 1 here. You can see in the upper left 60 FPS, and sometimes that lowers. Right, so I don't usually count my FPS, but in cases like this, when you have to be really objective, it's useful. Yeah, so turn on the Minicon. Look at the number of triangles there. 7 million, 6 million. It's going to change because the triangle count includes also the map. It's not the truck only, it's everything that's getting rendered. So yeah, it will depend on where you are. But if you are in the truck config screen, in the truck purchasing screen, then it will always be the same background at least, so you will have a more consistent triangle count. That's good enough. Yeah, so 60 frames all throughout in this place. I'm at 88% GPU load. So I think if you're just gaming, if you're not recording, then you will barely notice an effect if you have a 1070 like me. But if you are recording, you might encounter some slowdowns in the recording. Yeah, the game itself, it's been almost smooth, pretty silky smooth for me. But the recording is more affected in that way. There's higher priority on the game itself than the recording by default. Am I going to hit that? I think I'm going to hit that guy. Oh, this trailer is very strange. Because I'm estimating it for the box itself, not including the fifth wheel at the back, or sixth wheel I like to call it, because the fifth wheel is already here. The second fifth wheel, aka the sixth wheel. There you go, that's more like it. Make sure not to hit that guy over there. Yeah, that was a smooth ride. So look forward to more episodes in the channel with this truck, the Ford F-Max by SimülasyonTÜRK. Thank you guys for your amazing work. And I will post some descriptions on the video as well. right? So if you would like to see more videos, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Hit that bell icon so you get notified whenever something gets released from me. And yeah, I'll make sure that we have more Ford F-Max videos. Silent trucking, Q&A, just exploration. I'm loving this truck. And even with the high triangle count, I think it's going to be worth the frame loss. Occasional frame loss, right? So thanks for watching. Have a nice day, guys. Catch you in the next episode. I am super excited to drive with this again. And next time on a longer journey. Thanks. Catch you there in Clumsy Trucking. Bye-bye.